What's up, folks? Justin Charnel here, JustinCharnel.com. Talking why most internet business people don't talk about their actual websites, their actual products, their actual assets. And the reason for that is the barrier to entry is so low that anybody with $15 and $10 a month could copy whatever they have going on. It might not be as effective, but they could still, virtually copy everything onto their own stuff. And they might not get caught. They might get caught eventually. They might switch things up just enough to not make it look like it's kind of the same thing, but it's still a possibility. So to minimize the risk taken by you talking about their websites or talking about doing case studies, doing lab reports, talking about their experimentations, whatever. Nobody ever shares their URL. Nobody ever shares their Twitter account names, their Pinterest accounts that they've been experimenting on and trying things and actually making money from, is because they don't want somebody to copy them. Granted, I mean, one caveat is anybody that's worth their salt and knows what they're doing isn't going to copy somebody else, because they're probably either working on their own projects that take up enough of their time, or they actually recognize the amount of effort that goes into getting to a point where you're making 4 or 5 figures a month from an online business. It's not like, here, let me write 50 articles and just sit back and twiddle my thumbs and hope for the best. There's a lot of outreach with getting backlinks. There's promotions. There's social campaigns. There's email marketing campaigns if you're really good at what you do. There's so much more than just, I'm gonna write 50 articles, or I'm gonna copy this person's entire SCM Rush report. Just download the entire thing and just copy keyword by keyword everything I got going on. There's so much more that goes into it. So yes, most people keep their stuff secret because they don't want to have to deal with competition. And also, I guess one other part is you can get, say you run in me, for instance, I have this Twitter account that I created 5 years ago. That's just, it automatically posts pictures day in, day out, every day. I don't touch it at all, but it gets 2.5 million impressions a month and 6,000 clicks to wherever I want it to go. I don't share with people. I was on a podcast yesterday. They said, "Hey, can you share that?" I said, "No, I can't," because all it takes is one bitter person, somebody that is upset for whatever. They just want to see. They said, "You know what? I just want to make a change in the world and not really care." It's like the people that go around breaking into people's cars. They don't care whose car it is. They don't care about what happens to that person. They just do it because whatever. So if I would have said, "Oh yeah, the Twitter handle is at whatever www blah 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 blah," one of his listeners could have been like, "Well, I didn't like that conversation they had. I'm gonna go and report that account for, being a bot," because that's basically what it is, or report the account for whatever, or and just like that overnight, that entire 5-year process. Or granted, it's not really work. It was an hour to set up, but that entire thing that I had, that asset, I mean, it's not a game changer, but that petite money income stream is gone because I decided to reveal the username or the whatever. There's that. But like I said, most people, if you have a website that's performing well, most people are going to copy it because they just don't have the means. But you never know who's listening and who does have the means. It says, "Oh, you spent $5,000 and you're making $20,000 a month now. I got 20,000. I'm gonna just jack everything you did, double it, and make 40,000 or whatever the case is." It's a tricky sport that even when you are way up there, when you're giving information away, you don't want to give away the tip top. You don't want to give away the top 5%. You give away 95. Whereas other places, they'll give away the top 5%, but they don't reveal any of the actual information behind it. A lot of the communities I'm part of, we give the back end. Here, I wrote this many articles. I did this kind of social campaign. Hey, I did this. Hey, I did this. I did that. Whatever. That's the kind of things we talk about, but we don't say, here's my website also. Whereas the other side, they say, here's my website. Look how many Facebook fans I got. Look how many Twitter follows I got. I got this many email subscribers. But they don't talk about how much I'm earning every month. So it's a weird, it's a really weird industry where people like to talk about it, but they can't talk about too much. And then you have people like, Income School that do reveal, some of their websites. But the key word there is some. There you would have to be a fool to sit there and say, here's here's my entire portfolio. Basically, here's here's how I make my money. Also, here's how I did it. But here's also the end result. Here's everything. That's definitely not all their websites. If you do a simple Google search for, like, in quotes, Income School LLC, and then out of quotes, like Amazon Associates, you'll find a few other websites that they have, and some in the works, and whatever, like 7yearolds.com or something like that. You can see that. There's sites that you are comfortable revealing that you say, okay, well, like Cabin Report or whatever it was, they said it's not performing as well as, some of their other websites. So it's probably that's probably why they revealed it, because it's if somebody copies that, if traffic goes to zero, income goes to zero, somebody does like a really terrible, negative SEO attack on their website, it won't matter, because it's a small fry. So that's kind of why a lot of people in this online space don't reveal what they're doing, or just because it's not worth it. And it's easier to be called a fake and a fraud and still make them money at the end of the day, as opposed to, oh, he laid it all out there, very honest guy, but now he's broke.